Perfect. Well, first off, welcome Stonebwoy to Vlad TV.
Big up
King.
yourself, Shirley, right?
Yes,
All
Shirley.
right. Black
You know,
TV, big respect. It's an honor
for
to be here with
sure.
you right now.
Thank you. King of reggae and dancehall in Africa.
Which is right.
Over 45 awards to your name. Best International Act at the 2015 BET Awards, Artist of the Year at the 2015 Ghana Music Awards. It's an honor. You're a legend. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I mean, I just want to add the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards as well, which is one of my favorites because, I love kids. So I need that one on my sleeve right now,
Definitely. What was that award for?
It's called the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards. It happened in LA. It's actually it's huge. You can check it out. Like it's by it's by the Viacom companies. One of those, like the MTV base is still like,
Right.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. Well, if you don't mind, we're gonna start at the beginning. Talk about growing up in Ashaman. Did I say that right?
Yeah, it's cool. Ashaiman, yeah.
Ashaiman.
Yeah.
Talk about growing up there and the impact it has on you.
Growing up in Ashaiman is typically known to be a tough place where growing up from mentioning the fact that you come from Ashaiman actually really scares people. Like they know who you are already. They know you're a hard guy. They know they can't mess with you, because it's a city that embodies a lot of, young youth, hustlers, everybody from any part of Ghana and even West Africa actually lives there because it's like a hub that welcomes everybody and allows everybody to hustle. You know what I mean? So growing up over there, I learned a lot of virtues, of hustling, getting your stuff, stepping into the streets, and owning, what you have to own.
For sure. Did you, when you were growing up, did you know you were gonna be famous or this African star? Did you know? Did you want that? Did you know that was that was gonna be in your future?
Honestly speaking, I couldn't have known, but a lot of people took fond of me anyway. Like I was a favorite person growing up for everybody. They would love to be around me. They would love to call me in. They just love me to hang around with them, the elderly, my mates, and that. So I can say that growing up at an early age, I knew that I was a people's person, and I could make them happy at any time as a young chap. So that I took in, but I didn't know I was going to become the world's favorite also at a point. But here is the case, by virtue of music that I've always loved to do and being an open person and very genuine and generous, this is where I am today, so.
That's beautiful. So when did you first fall in love with music? Do you remember that moment?
For me, I think I fell in love with music for a very long time when I was a kid because I was in I was raised in a church background. So you find me singing in the church choirs, in the classrooms. Like I've been very vocal and very expressive with my musical innate from childhood. So there was no worries about that. I only didn't know it was gonna get to a point where, this is what I live for and this is what I do.
For sure. So how did you learn how to, well, I know at age 13, you were involved in a near fatal car accident that made you disabled. Can you touch on what happened then? That's terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that is a very significant point in my life that I can never, ever, ever forget. I'll die with it. And everybody that my family and the world also knows about it. And I always speak about it because I know that it would inspire somebody to get up and get on their feet. So after encountering an accident, I was left with a bad knee, that I had to deal with for a very long time before I was able to financially be capable to, go under the last surgery to replace, my whole right knee. You know,
Wow.
yeah. So during the procedure from 2003 when I had that accident, all up until 2016, which was 13 years solid, I've had to hustle through it with the health conditions until until I became Stonebwoy, basically. So I just believe that I'm living my name because my name is Livingstone. So as a stone,
Right.
you just have to, for me, it's divine more than anybody could think that I am here for a purpose, and the things that I go through are supposed to also be a part of my life. Once it doesn't take my life, it makes me stronger to inspire my
Totally.
people and live as an example, to glorify the name of the Maker, you know.
Right. How did you first come up with the idea for Stonebwoy? How did that?
Um, when we were, once upon a time I've always been called Stone anyway because my English name is Livingstone,
Okay.
which I've had to ask my father to give me at a point. I asked him that I needed a first name, and then he said, "All right." He had his brothers, one of his twin brothers was called Livingstone, who had passed away, and I'm a twin as well. So
Mm-hmm.
he suggested, I'm like, I like it. I didn't even know what it meant, what it didn't mean, but I just liked it. So I took it upon myself. And right from there, everybody started calling me Stone, 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 Stone. And when I got to, primary school, I was still known as Stone because that was my name until I got an opportunity to get on radio somewhere in junior high school. And then the presenter, before he gave me the opportunity to try to sing on the radio, he said, "What's your name?" Then I said, "My name is Livingstone, it's Stone." Then he said, "All right, what styles do you love to do?" So I told him I love to sing, I love to raga, I listen to a lot of reggae, and I can rap as well.
Right.
So he just, by the virtue that I said I love to do reggae and dancehall, he said, "All right, we have one Stone boy in the building, rude boy, Stone boy," and that was it from that day.
That's beautiful. So I guess I know you were. Well, how did you learn how to record yourself?
um, I think it came in. It became necessary for me to learn how to, because more times you get inspired and you're on your own and you want to drop some bars or record something. So we have the computers, and you could also study how to put your vocals down at least. So that was the reason why I actually learned how to record myself, basically.
Definitely. And I know that, well, yeah, I know you studied Methodist Day secondary school the same year with rapper Sarkodie when he got his high school certificate.
We're in the same school. We're in the same high school.
That did you guys connect on any music stuff or no?
While I was in high school, yes, we knew each other, so we were cool once and once, you know. So that was where the relationship started from. We weren't like good friends, good friends. You know what I mean? Like best friends, good. Nah, that's none of that anyway. Because he was in a different course and I was in a different course.
Right.
So we knew each other from them times there, and we spoke as and when, but we weren't like best friends. And now I knew him, he knew me, and that was it. We spoke anyway.
Right. And then you actually got your you went to University of Professional Studies to earn a degree in marketing in 2013. What
Yeah.
did you learn from school? What did you learn from school that helped your music career?
Yeah, marketing, of course. Like and I'm still back in school anyway, learning public administration as well. So, I always love to educate myself, which is one of the things that I love to do. So on the side, as difficult as it will be always, I still try to, get some formal education as well, because, life to me is all about learning formally and informally. So coming from the streets, I believe that I've assimilated a lot of street sense, which has helped me the most. But there are so many things that we need to know and cannot find on the streets. We have to go into the classrooms because those are the places where they leave it. Then we can be able to compare, you know, as a global citizen, as I consider myself, we can be able to compare what is going on around the world.
Definitely. What would you say you learned from the streets that
Ah, as an Ashaiman boy, I learned I learned, tenacity, you have to be tough. And growing up, with a health issue of, an accident, walked with a stiff knee for 13 years and still
Wow.
made it through life. I don't think anything can be an excuse to me. You know what I mean? Like I go, I work hard, I pray to God. I definitely respect people and I'm very super humble that you might probably take me for granted, but you know what I mean? It's either you're on your way up or you're on your way down, but I love to stay humble. These are the things I learned on the streets, loyalty, compassion, understanding and knowing how life runs because life truly runs on the street. That's where everything happens. So
Right.
you would learn a lot. So I learned so many things on the street. I'm still on the street
Def.
regardless because my music is on the street, you know.
Right.
Yeah, man. And I'm still in the streets. No two ways about it.
Definitely. Did you have to leave the streets in order to do the music?
Nah, I stayed on the streets in order to do music, basically.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you mentioned your knee having a stiff knee for 13 years. How does this still affect you when you're performing?
Yeah, man. I think I've had to be very, caring for my lifestyle. Basically, that's why because I'm managing this. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be the same if I was 100% fit. But I find a way as a fit child from the start to continue to exhume that energy, to the people, and I'm regarded as one of the best performers still,
Right.
because I don't let it, I don't let it slow me down. I've always given my all, but medically I manage it, so I don't overdo. I do my regular exercises. I make sure, but ever since I did the surgery, it's been better. It's been like, okay, you know, where I'm at, but it still needs to be managed because that's not the original settings anyway.
Definitely. Man, well, just talk about you have 4 million followers on Instagram. How did you build your social media presence? Did it just come with the music or was there a moment that you went viral?
Okay. I think it came with the music, it came with the journey. You know what I mean? Like um I'm proud to be one of the artists who came out of, just before the social media era with the Instagrams and the Facebooks popped in. I think it was just on our head that those things really came into existence, like with the YouTubes and
Right.
that. So I always say this that I'm one of the artists I come from an era where we had to hit the ground running. Like
Mm-hmm.
today you can be on your phone and you go viral, social media. But in those times you had to be socially active. You have to be socially present in the societies, to have following. So we know every corner, every ghetto, every nooks, every cranny, we've hit it. So I think we've had that following from that time. And then when we transition onto the social media apps, the following also moved over there as well. And then it continued to grow till today. So that's how I can say I gained followership and still continue to gain followership on social media with the 4 million followers that I still got.
And then I know in 2012 you released Grade 1 album. Yeah, your first hit single, Climax. How was that Climax? How was that moment for you? Because I know both of that song earned you a nomination at the Ghana Music Awards.
Yeah. I want to say big respect to my big brother. He's a legendary artist called Samini. I mean, not blood brother, but I respect him so much and I see him as such. At the time, he put me on because I was doing the most, from the radio state. Because I actually started on radio basically whilst I was in senior high school. So I got that popularity from there. And I was able to, grow my craft whilst I was through school. And then we got the opportunity to meet via that medium. And that was how he, by affiliating his brand by getting me close to him, I believe, he got, the established ears and the industry to pay attention to my craft as well. So in 2012, that is the first song that we recorded together as a collaboration where I featured him, but it was under his label, basically. So that when that blew, because Ghana was actually experiencing a new sound of a dancehall act who was, sharp and ready to conquer the world. You know what I mean? So that was how far that song went, and it's still one of the people's favorite songs, and it's gonna go down in history as a foundation hit song for me. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I know. And then you released Necessary Evil in 2014.
Exactly.
29 tracks.
Yeah. Yeah, 29 tracks. Trust me. I had released Grade 1 in 2012, and Climax was on that album, and Necessary Evil was 2014 and 29 tracks. Trust me. I think every song that I was recording between the 2 year span, and some of the songs which couldn't make it on the Grade 1 had to come over here because I wanted to, put everything on there so people can, get the songs.
Yeah, did you, and I know it features Sarkodie. Did you think it would be, you would win 3 Ghana Music Awards? That's incredible.
You see, honestly speaking, yeah, I am one person who anybody who knows me can tell that I am very confident and daring, positively, without any iota of ego, except you have negativity inside of your heart, then that's how you're going to see my confidence as ego. Because where we come from is tough, so you have to be tough. You know what I mean?
Right.
I see beyond awards even till today. Because if I was really gonna be rewarded according to the awards, I should have won many awards in Ghana more than what I got. But
Wow.
my role and my career and my journey is not necessarily only dependent on award schemes or awards that come in to use my hustle. Like the awards come, you take my hustle, and then you want to reward me for my hustle. The most important thing is to continue to keep hustling.
Right.
So I look beyond awards. I was not even thinking if I was going to win or not win. My core priority was to keep growing as an artist.
For sure.
And awards are going to come anyway.
Right. I mean, how did you feel winning the Best International Act at the 2015 BET Awards? How was that experience for you?
That experience is a turning point in my life, I believe. Trust me, I'm not going to speak down on that opportunities, From nowhere, I was in Nigeria, and then when the nomination came out, I had won the Ghana Music Awards that year. I had won Afrima that year. I was just winning. At them, I was just breaking the rules and making miracles. Like, to win Ghana Music Artist of the Year and go on to win the BETs is like, it's how do they say this in football? It's like a hat trick, and the Afrima is like a hat trick. So
3 goals, right?
I was in LA. I was fresh. I think that's my first time in LA. Like, I didn't even know what was going on. Like, I was just flowing through the program, But on the day of the awards, like, I had a feeling that this award was going to go to Ghana because, there were other great artists in that category, But I had a feeling this award was going to go to Ghana, and it was me and Sarkodie were the Ghanaian nominees on there. That would have been his second time or something, or probably his third time. I don't really remember. And when we got into the auditorium at the time, the awards was pre-recorded. That category was given out before the main awards anyway, because we were only trying to work, Africans were trying to work their way in anyway. So we took that. Only for us to sit down, and the award goes to Stonebwoy from Ghana. I'm like, rah. I couldn't, like, I was overwhelmed. Like, because I knew what this would do for me. And I knew what this would do for Africa and the style and the genre that I represented. Because I represent Afro dancehall, Afro dancehall reggae music. My style is a complete blend of dancehall music, reggae music, and Afro beats, And that's what I've been pushing to the fore as a style that the world needs to know. 7 years down the line, it's all over. We have the Burna Boys killing it, you know, because when you take a style like Burna, you take a style like Stonebwoy, you feel it. You know the vibes. That it has a
For
dancehall
sure.
aura, you know, and some energetic style of flow, but it's still embedded in the Afro beats. And that's one of the things that I'm really grateful to God for. And a lot more of us exist, you know, in that style. You know, so after winning that, my life turned around. I moved on to the next chapter, and here we are 7 years after, still representing and, you know, kicking things,
Hell
having gotten
yeah.
a few recognitions at the Grammys and a few things going on, big collaborations, and we're still kicking, you know.
For sure. I mean, you want to talk about Burna Boy? Talk about how the song "Take You Home" with AKA came about. It's
All
a great
right.
collab.
Yeah, man. What I gotta even say is that before the song "Take You Home" came about, there was a remix already of one of my songs called "No
No
Sir."
sir.
Yeah.
No sir.
Yo, and with all due respect, you know, Burna is a brother to me in my heart, as far as I'm concerned, because I don't believe we've had any bad issues that we have had to confront that we couldn't understand. You know what I mean? No. Time and tide, they say wait for no man. People grow. And, you know, if you have somebody's best interest at heart, whatever they do as they rise, you just love them because that's who you are. So, you know, we may have hardly gotten back in touch, but come on, man. I mean, I can't stop bigging him up for raising the bar to the next level for all of us as Africans. So he's been my brother. We done No Sir. We did, you know, Take You Home. We did Sick in Our Head. You know, that's how cool we've been before, you know? So, you know what I mean?
For sure. Oh yeah, you're good. Oh, is there a memory that you might have with Burna Boy? I'm sure those studio sessions are super lit. Yeah, is there a memory you can share with us?
Yeah, man. I can remember these dope memories. One time I visited Nigeria, you know, and I was in his house, you know, at around a place called Chevron. We drive in his car, you know, we make music. Same way he comes to Ghana, we connect, we link up. That was where we recorded Take You Home, you know, with AKA. Memories, good, nice memories, you know, because I've always been grateful for memories altogether, you know, in this journey, because that is the only thing we leave behind. And that is the only thing the future people will come and watch and see and know how it was done or how we've come this far, because nobody lives forever, but memories do live forever when we keep them behind safe and sound.
For sure. Man, and speaking of, I mean, I know you that was on your album Epistles of Mama. Just when did you lose your mother, if you don't mind me asking? And I'm so
No, it's all
sorry.
right. In 2015.
Wow.
Yeah, July, there about that same year I won the BETs. You know.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I actually got back home to meet her in the hospital dead, basically.
But she saw you win those awards.
Yeah. You know, so I was in LA, I rushed back to Ghana and I rushed straight to the hospital. And I was the first one to see the body still, you know what I mean? So these are scars on my mind that tells me that I gotta go harder in life, you know, guys. Stuff in our life, you get me? Like, you know, my mom is not here to witness my success so far. And it hurts in person, but I know there is a realm above the physical, and you know, she's looking on, you know, and
For sure.
I'm grateful still, and for that reason I'm gonna go even harder. I vowed and I promised.
Right. How did you lose her?
She fell ill for a very short period of time, within a week, and that was just it.
Oh wow. In a week?
Yeah, very short period of time.
That's
She was healthy, like
that's
nothing, you know.
that's
January, you know.
scary. That is so scary. So what did it mean to be able to dedicate a whole project to her?
Yeah, I mean, I came out of her, you know, she gave me life. So I owe her my
Right.
life basically in the end. So dedicating just a project is not enough. I mean, I'm going to say it here for the first time. I'm just wrapping up building up her mansion, you know. I'm almost done. And I'm going to put that in her name. You know, that year when
Oh wow.
like, it's- that year I I bought myself a new car and I said that was her car. You know what I mean? Like, and I put
Oh.
her initials on the car. You know,
Oh my gosh.
so I still owe her a lot of things. You feel me? Like, there are so many things we had planned that she would speak about, and I know that I will still be able to do it because she's
Right.
strengthening me from the sources above, and I must live
Right.
to fulfill that. And even so, my mom was a people's person. In my community, everybody knew my mom. I'm not even
Right.
no cap. In my neighborhood, especially my community, everybody knew my mom because she lived for the people.
Right.
So
Oh wow.
same way I said that's the same way with me, you know.
For
You know,
sure.
so
Man, what
you know, I'm still gonna, you know, I owe her a lot, and her legacy must live on through me, basically. Yeah, man.
wow. Is your dad around?
Yeah, he is.
Okay. How was that going through it with him?
He's all right. He is one hell of a strong man still, you know, and all these things. But you know, the bond between mother and son, you know, if because it's not everybody who gets to have that bond with their mothers as a son. Sometimes it's a daughter
Right.
and a mother vibe. But if you're honored or you are opportuned to have that bond with your mother, I think it's one of the best bonds, you know, you can ever have as a mother to a son
Totally.
kind of bond, you know. So,
Right.
you know, I've never really, my dad, I respect him and all of that, but it's a man to man kind of vibe on that side. You know.
For sure. No, yeah, I agree. Is there we'll talk about the album, the project, 24 albums. This time has Sean Paul. How did you and Sean Paul link?
Sean, I say, Popcorn's brother. Is it Squid? Squiddle, yeah. Is this his cousin or his brother? Me and Squid are good. It's been a while we spoke. Yo, big up Squid. If you anywhere you find this, anybody watching this, go tell the man they say I hail him up, you know. Big respect to Squiddle. He's a good brother. I recorded this song in Atlanta, you know. Shout out to my man, he produced it, Elijah, but we recorded it in Atlanta. And after I did the song, I knew that that was the kind of song that Sean will murder. If he hears it,
Oh wow.
I was hopeful.
Yeah.
So I began to plot my points. So I scanned through and I was like, okay, who can lead me on to who and what? Because remember, I'm highly independent as an artist, so I'm well involved because that's what the streets show me. I'm always involved in my thing as much as I can. So I called Squiddo. I'm like, this is what I want to do. And he said, all right, quiet. He's going to try to get Sean on the link. And he managed to get me the link directly. And lo and behold, I cannot stop saying how real Sean Paul is and how I respect him so much. As far as I'm concerned, I don't care whatever anybody else thinks about him. That's your own experience. But I so respect him so much. It was a straight artist to artist kind of conversation. And I showed him the song. Immediately, that was the last verse that we got. He was on tour, but immediately he got a free time. He made sure he recorded that verse and he sent it to me. And that was the last song we mastered and placed on the album, you know, because that actually delayed the release date, but eventually we got it. And it was one of the biggest songs on the album. We followed up to go
Wow.
and shoot the video in Jamaica. You know, he availed himself. The song was cleared without no troubles. Yo, and that's how me and the legend, you know, created this bond. So anytime, any
Right.
day, I hit him up, I shout him up, he shouts me out, and one love. You know, I wish him a successful tour. He's hitting the road right now again. You know, so more love.
That's awesome. Did he give you any game? Because you know he's been in the game for a minute.
Yeah, man. He says he advises me as well. The last time when I went to Jamaica because I featured on this album, his album Live and Living, you know, with Jesse Raya, Muta, Paruka, you know, Guns of Navarone. That's the title of the song. You know,
Yeah.
he actually speaks highly of me as well. You know, the work ethic, the humility, and that alone, it's so much game for me. Like it's that alone is putting me on, basically. Like, you know. Yeah, man.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, in May 2019, you were involved in a brawl with music rival Shatta Wale. Did I say his name right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can you just touch on how that happened?
Aye.
And I know you guys are cool now, so you know.
I mean, somehow cool. I'll tell you the way it is. You know what I mean? Like that shit is no biggie at all to me. What it was is that, you know, the rivalry actually stemmed from, you know, when I was close to Samini, because I know he said in a few interviews that, you know, Samini didn't. He just started biting on people. You feel me? Like that was a strategy to some extent, but I have come to realize that it's not really a strategy. It's the way of life. That's how you can't change people, you know, and you can't do what you are not. You know, it cannot be that consistent if you're not that type of person. You know, it can't just be coincidental to be, you know, on people's necks every time. You feel me? So that's where the feud carried on from. Just because I was cool with Samini, he had to rub it all off me as well. And I never switched. I still stayed with Samini, you know what I mean? Cause I don't even know what the problem was. But finding out, I know there was no problem at all, to be honest with you. You know, I don't hide stuff. I say it the way it's supposed to be. There was no problems at all. It's just somebody coming at somebody because, yeah, that's it. It feels like it's cool. It's a beef era. You can just come at them and that, you know. And that's what he did. And that's what came back to me and trickled down all the way till the 19th of, you know, when I've won the Ghana Music Awards category. I've won the Reggae Dancer Artist of the Year 4 times in a row. Just like I've won the Reggae Dancer Artist of the Year Africa Awards 4 times in a row.
Right.
You know, so it's not a coincidence. I took the beat. It's not a coincidence. It's clear. My work is evident, you know. So on that day, I won the 5th one. So
wow.
I was just going to stage to collect my awards. By the time I even spoke my speech, the man ran up the stage, you know, with
during your speech?
Yeah, I wasn't even able to speak. With a whole lot of bunch of people with whatever intention he had. But even if I wasn't smart, I know it's 2 things: to disrupt it, to try to regard me as, you know, to try to just do his shit. Sorry for the bad word, you know, but
no, you can curse.
Whatever reason that is, I think nobody has the rights like that. You get me? Like, you don't have the rights to feel like you're invincible. You know? So that one thing led to the other. And they basically saw the other side of me. They realized that I'm really from the streets, my brother.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was how he fled off stage and so on and so forth. But later on, you know, as much as war is it could be business whatsoever, peace is the ultimate, you know what I mean? So we managed, because we had a whole lot of following and people looking up to us, and that we managed to come to a nice consensus. But you know, it's never been genuine, because you can't really force people to be who they're not. So subsequently, the man they go on to do him and be him. But the truth is, I'm used to that, so I laugh with it. You know what I mean? Because I know he's just joking, basically. Even if it's not joking, that's the extent of it. It can't get any worse. I mean, come on. How many times can I be drawn out? You know?
Yeah.
But if be necessary, I'll come out and I'll say what I have to say. But it's no more necessary. It's just like, because the last time he tried something at me again over something, and you know, I hardly talk about him in the media, like trying to say something on him or trying to put some dirt on him. Right. He's always trying to put dirt on me and a few, you know, because that's who he is. I say it without any apology, because we know who we know. It's as simple as that. You know? Yeah, man.
Wow. I guess, what was your thought process? You you pulled out a gun on stage, right? In front of everyone?
Nah, I didn't pull out a gun in front of everyone. You should watch the video. You know, the headlines say different things, you know, but we understand the laws and we know our one, you know. Because when they outraged the stage like that, all security personnel were taken aback to the extent that they even had their rifles. There was one up in the air like that, waiting for the worst, because you cannot underestimate such an action, you know, from an aggressive person who feels a lot of pain, who can stand to see people win. You know, when they're winning, you know, it's not everybody who can stand that. I'll be honest. Right. And it takes a lot of discipline actually to see people win. Because naturally, it's not easy to, you know, it's not easy to be a good person. It's easy to be a bad person, you know, but it's not easy to be good, so.
How did it feel to get arrested? What was going through your head?
On the night, all right, look here. I think this is natural justice, basically. On the night, it was the same police that escorted me to my house because they saw what happened. They know what happened. So they needed to give me protection to my yard.
Right. Wow.
What does that tell you? You know, so the next day, they invited us to the police station, and that was when, you know, we have had to be arrested. And I think the law had to take its course to deter people from being, you know, wayward. So there's a price to pay. I paid that price. I went into the cell center. You know what I mean? You know, and even in the cells, the inmates over there, they were all heated up like, I mean, quote unquote, you should have shot that nigga. You know, like, I'm like, nah, you know, because they know, we know Wagwan. There's no need to beat about the bush, you know, or let the media give you different headlines. You know, they know the aggressor and they know how I managed to comport myself to that extent, you know what I mean? Because I even sat through the awards period. I even sat through the period till it closed. So, it's one of those. It's 2-3 years ago now, and these are historic moments that, you know, will live on. So I don't shy away from talking about it, you know, to make people get the reality, because I don't talk. Sure, you don't find me blabbering up and down and trying to defend what's up.
Right.
Nah, because people will believe what they want to believe anyway. Who loves you still loves you, whatever. No matter what happens. But when I do get the opportunities like this, I make them know, it's real. You know, so this was the reality on the ground. You know?
For sure. And then you guys made up? What happened there?
I mean, like I told you already, we have a following, you know, and you know, and there's a need to lead exemplary life, you know. So we, you know, it so happened that we had to, you know, do some peace vibe, which is actually important, because even if you like it or not,
for sure,
Russia and Ukraine must meet up at a point, because the people who are suffering from the war is none of the leaders. It's the economy, it's the people, you know. So, you know what I mean? Like, me and him could be the ones at loggerheads, but those who suffer, it's not just going to be us. It's going to be many more people who will be fighting, because people fight on the streets, you know, and people stop each other. People, you know, it gets, that's not what I want for any of my fans or my following. So there's a need to actually let them know that, that's not the extent, you know. If there's supposed to be any fight at all whatsoever, it had to be professional. They had to put me and him in the ring, not other people, you know. Other people can't pay for, you know, what some other people are doing. So there was a need to calm stuff down, and I think it really worked. You know, stuff were calmed down from that level, and now it's at the minimal levels, you know.
Right. I don't know. Do you know who Fredro Starr is?
Who?
Fredro Starr from Onyx, the New York rap group. They have a song called Slam.
Yeah.
Dun, dun,
yeah. I think I heard it. Yeah.
I interviewed him for Vlad, and you know, he was in a group called Onyx. Sticky Fingers, he shot a gun in the air at the Source Awards.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, you see, like, people just don't get up to do stuff. But I realize that in the media space that we find ourselves lately, we only talk about the reaction. We don't talk about the action enough. We don't seem to justify the action enough. Like, from hindsight, you can say all you want to say. Look at Will Smith stepping on stage to deliver a package. You know what I mean? You know, and I'm reading it, and I've been in such a situation before where I have had to react in one way or the other. I didn't even pull out the gun to face nobody. I just moved back, and I was ready for any worst case. And there are evidence over there. So I can understand, when people are put in a place where they are the reactors, and now the whole news is about them. And the news is not even about what happened. It's just feeling as if that guy just got up to, if maybe he just got up to shoot a gun, fine. Then, it's a different situation. If Chris Rock had not spoken a joke about Will's, wife's situation, a situation that they know better about, it wouldn't get to that extent. So let us not only consider, and I think I respect Chris Rock for not pressing charges anyway, because he must have actually also, realized that, okay, it wouldn't have gotten here if I didn't start a thing. So I also have a role to play to just squash it and kill it. And then we both come back to, fix things, because I don't believe that the primary intention of that artist, of me, of Will Smith, was to cause a chaos on nights like that.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Wow. Where were you in LA? Where were you watching the Oscars?
I was here. I was in Miami.
Oh, okay. Because people are like, was that real? Was that scripted?
I was shooting a video with Nyanda Brick and Lace when it happened. And it looked, because these are actors. These are actors. I'm still torn in between whether to believe it fully or not. But I also understand that this is what we've created, whereby we've characterized people so much so that their reality becomes like a scene, or it becomes like another role being played. So whether acted or not, this is the situation we're dealing with. And what would you have done? What would you have said? From hindsight, people will say all they want to say. But I think this is the best time to focus on what was said and what was done. And that way, we are going to be able to, take lessons from these reactions that do happen on big days. And that day was my big day, bro. I was going to win the Artist of the Year.
Right. That's crazy.
You know what I mean? And so I that's why I fuck with what Denzel Washington told, he told Will. Like, on your biggest days, the devil is around the corner. And I tell you, it's not once, it's not twice for me. Like, for me, but that's how you know you're blessed. Because we have an adage in our country that says that where God builds his mansion, that is where the devil cooks his, builds his kitchen. So it's just close by. It's one of those.
Wow, for sure. And then you mentioned, along with that, can you talk about the Nickelodeon Awards?
Yeah, why not? I wasn't able to attend that anyway, but it's one of the awards that I respect because I love kids a lot. And this is, I think, MTV bases Nickelodeon Kids channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the awards. And coming from Africa to be the favorite African star, come on, is a big thing for me, because these kids had to vote. So these are, I think, the categories for kids from all over the globe who have accesses to vote. And, that's an honor. That's a blessing, because in Africa, basically, in Ghana, I think most of the kids who have the luxury of watching Nickelodeon in their homes by cable TV, are like of a certain class.
Yeah.
So you can understand that you're inspiring the streets into the corporate kids into, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So big respect for that. And I'm a proud recipient of that, which I had to mention, amongst other
Right.
things, you know.
For sure. That's beautiful. Well, real quick, jump back to Will Smith real quick. Cause what how did you feel watching him cry during his speech?
It's a reality, my dear. It's the it's a reality, because even if it is acted or not, it is happening. And when it happens,
it's real.
then it's real. Right? When it's happening, then it's real. So let's take it as it is. Because honestly, the world have been speaking about Will Smith for a very long time, owing to all the controversies about the family, the da. So it tells you that it's not easy to be in the media space. Somebody can say this flimsy thing like, if you weren't ready to be spoken about, why did you become a star? Really?
Right.
How can you even say that? People love what they do. I love to do music. I love to act. I do it for the people. Eventually, it's going to get me big. It's going to make a lot of people know and talk about me. Right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't give anybody the audacity to throw stones at me recklessly, just because when they wake up in the morning, they see me on their Instagram, or they see me on their Snapchat, or they see me on their TVs. Right. I think people have to also get to know that we are humans, you know, and also feel these things. He spoke these words. And fortunately, I'm in that space as well, because I've just few days or weeks ago, you know, because I'm always in the news as well for a thing or two.
Yeah.
Sometimes they tell blatant lies about you.
Wow.
And it runs wild, and they expect you to come and answer it. You know what I mean? Like, you should consider things as well, as because we're humans. You know, the media and the reports gotta be, I think it is more under control in the Western world, because somebody can sue you.
Yeah.
Somebody can sue you. But over where I come from, you know, morally or culturally, it'd be like, oh, why do you want to sue them? Why do you want to do that? Oh, forgive them. They didn't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I can understand. Will's tears, let's take it as it is. He cried because he felt to. He feels it.
Right.
He's human. He's expressing himself. Simple.
Right. For sure. How nervous are you when you're up there taking your award and then you got to say a speech? You know, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, you know, that's why I keep it very short. Because if you're not careful, you know, your adrenaline, you know, you could just, because it's a moment, so you could just spew out something that will become like, oh, is that what he said? So as much as I believe that everybody would want to speech out and say some things on their heart, you also have to keep it minimal. So I receive, I'm like, thanks to everybody who made this possible. Like, I just won an award, I think 3-4 days ago, Best Reggae Dancehall Artist of the Year at one of the music awards in Ghana. I got 3 music awards. And my lawyer went in there for me and took the award. And when he was speaking, I was laughing because, he's going through it, you know. You know.
That's hilarious. What's the craziest thing the media has said about you?
Me. Oh, please. Yeah. I don't want to even go there. It's going to make the news again. It's going to refresh it.
Oh, no.
It's going to refresh it again.
It won't, I promise.
But this is a big platform, you know.
Right.
Black TV is a big platform. Because I don't like it when they say things that are not correct.
I know, but that's why I want to know.
Yes, and I cannot come and answer either. Because they don't care about my answer. They actually just care about me answering for them to use as content.
Right. Wow.
So here's it. It hurts.
Yeah. Wow. Has it ever affected you? Because I actually had Deshaun Jackson. I had him on my show, Shirley's Temple. Do you know, he's an athlete. He's a football player. He's like one of the best football players, but he was saying how the media try to portray him, because he's from South Los Angeles, as someone from the hood, someone who's bad, you know?
I get that. I get that, because I'm from Ashima. You get me? Like, they, as humble as I am, they know my background is tough. So basically, that's an opening that they can use to dent me, you know what I mean? But
Right.
one thing that another thing that gives me comfort is the fact that like people know you for you, you know, irrespective. So just keep being you, you know, and there are going to be lows and there are going to be highs. But in the space that we find ourselves lately, it's I think it's not fair. It's sad. Like people just be wanting views and all these things so they can just cook stories. They say some of the craziest things that you be like, yo, the other time I was sleeping and then my wife had to send me a video, something like that. Like somebody posted on TikTok that I was dead. Like R.I.P. Stonebwoy. And
my gosh.
And I'm like, this is not gonna be the first time anyway, but why would you in your moral senses wish me dead?
That's terrible.
That's the extent it goes. You know, when you find yourself in a society where it's really very, people are not thoughtful enough to realize that, all right, this guy can actually find me and sue me and so on and so forth. But it is highly expected of us, just the way they feel like they can throw insults on everybody in the media space and expect that they don't feel it. They still also expect you to just be like, oh, they're joking. I mean, I couldn't be dead. The effect thereof. You cannot always be like, oh, you're building a tough skin. You need the soft skin.
Right.
You need the soft skin too. If we was gonna be built to have tough skins, I think God will make our skins like elephants and crocodiles, literally.
Wow.
You know, but we're humans. Yeah. There is a part of us that is supposed to function properly with our emotions. It's just like a car without electricals. You're telling me I'm emotional because I feel what they say, the effect thereof? What am I supposed to be? Non-emotional? Then what am I turning into?
Right.
You know the vibes. If we're supposed to say, I've always had a problem with people jumping into conclusion to say, he's emotional, she's emotional, they're emotional, they lack emotional intelligence. There is a need to be intelligence, definitely. But, bro, you have to be emotional to function well. Then you're not living. Then you're probably an object. They don't have motion. You know what I mean? So I think people should consider all these things and realize that as much as we live our lives for them, I can tell you that many of us would wish to have another face. You definitely have an image, but you know, I would love to have another face I can put on so I can live normal life and come back to live Stonebwoy life. But it's impossible.
Wow.
It's impossible. So there's a need to combine both, you know, and so people have to understand how that runs, and they're going to help us to have a peaceful, you know, coexistence.
For sure.
Sorry for my long talk, but you know.
No, I love it. Please. I love the long talks. But talk about family life real quick. How is it being, you said your father, right?
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
I've got 2 beautiful kids, you know.
Oh my goodness. How old are they?
The girl is 4 and counting, and the guy is 3 and counting, you know.
Aww.
You know what I mean?
How is it to be able to do all this for them? Like, I feel like that's the most important thing in the world.
Absolutely. Right? I mean, they're my absolute responsibility, you know, till when they're dead. Not to wish them dead, but I mean, you know, as their father, you have to be there through it all. And I'm happy to witness my kids grow. It feels surreal to me sometimes, you know, like when I was entering here, I was talking to my daughter, you know.
Oh, wow.
And it's beautiful. She said she wanted to be here. I think she can't make it now, but I
Yeah.
love them so much. You guys will see me travel with them
Aw.
a few times, and we have to take care of these kids and other kids and other people's kids. Anyway, I do
Right.
that. I'm open. So family is amazing. I've got a beautiful wife at home. No, she's not a housewife. Basically, she's a doctor. She's
She's a doctor. Yes.
So we've been breaking the rules, bro,
I love it.
and trying to get some. It's not like we're breaking the rules by force.
Right.
It's natural. Like there need to be that shift, that combination. There need to be that combination of the creative and the white collar corporate people, because there's always a certain stigma that is placed on creatives that they're only good for themselves. They're only good for
Right.
But we can always, as humans. And so I think by the natural occurrence of me and my wife, it's inspired a lot of people. It's giving, it's fresh.
That's beautiful.
By so doing, there's a lot of eyes on us. A lot of talk that try to see that not happen, that try to make sure it withers down, all that. But such is life anyway. We're going to continue to inspire people as a family.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. How did you guys meet?
I've never really spoken the truth about that, and I'm gonna lie again.
Oh my gosh.
But we met in Ghana, basically.
Aww.
And I can tell you, I've always said this. The first day I saw her, I knew she was my wife, and she became a wife. Done.
The first day.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. How'd you know if she'd be a good wife or not?
I didn't care. I was just listening to my inner spirits, But
wow.
Sometimes it feels like that, but the process, defines it better. You know what I mean? So
right.
I think it's fortunately the process defined it the way it felt. Just like it's supposed to, because if the feeling is genuine from right inside of your guts, then you are supposed to work it out to make sure it happens.
Right.
Exactly.
I love that. Real quick, I want to touch on you as an actor. You were in the movies Happy Death Day and My Name is Ramadan. Can you just talk about those moments? And I love that you're doing acting. I feel like
I think every musician is an actor or an actress, because basically you got to do those, your music videos, your acting, your facial expressions, your that. So it gives us a plus. But I've always loved to act, and I've always loved movies. So those are, minor roles played, but I'm thankful to the producers who hired me for that job. But I'm looking forward for, to be hired in a next job when you're producing a movie. So remember me, okay?
For sure. Man, what are your thoughts on the Ghana Music Awards scheme 2022?
Hey, see, just like the Oscars, just like the Grammys, just like any other, just like the BETs, there's always gonna be talks around it. There's always gonna be issues. And I think we've had our fair issue, but ultimately I'm a Ghanaian, and I'm a proud Ghanaian and an African. And to this level, I cannot spot out of a music, event. I will continue to contribute my quota as a musician, as an entrepreneur, as a role model to the industry. So, I'm not seeking to run away or leave it unsolved if there is a problem. So we've always gotten back and forth with trying to better the award schemes in terms of looking at it from the perspective of artists who have paid their maximum dues enough to be heard and listened to, so they can also contribute their suggestions to the whole scheme. But you realize that I believe that as it comes in the name of the artist, every award scheme comes in the name of the actors, the actresses, the artists. Like, yeah, we're going to reward you. We see your hard work. We da. But most often it's the same award scheme that actually, brings a certain situation to the artist in the end. By by actually, proving that their core mandate is to keep the award scheme running and to make their finances good
Right.
without really, caring about those that make it possible. Because if there was no music, there wouldn't be music awards. If there was no actors, actresses, there wouldn't be movies, the Oscars and all of that. So I think there's just a need to pay critical attention because, else there's always going to be feud. You're going to find some of the top artists who have actually paid their dues, speak against and stand for something. And it's happening. And this is the shoes I'm in right now. I've been speaking in my mind about it, but in a very respectful manner. Because I always want to check it right so that I don't become one of the people, I don't get pushed in the box of, one of the people that's just disrespecting, the schemes because, no, I don't do that. So I've taken it very carefully. And so this year when they reached out to me, they came in a funny way. They'd be like, they were speaking to my management and be like, oh, their resources have found out that my music is, they've selected it as a part of, so they're asking if they have the permission to go ahead. And my management and us spoke, and I'm like, listen, this is to prove to them that I don't have anything against Ghana Music Awards or anything that will continue to have me pour my quota into the award scheme or make the music, industry keep going. So it's a yes. They can go ahead with whatever they say they found. It's not a problem. Just so the public knows that I don't have no personal issues with nobody, and that's not going to affect my music. But there is still a need to have that meeting.
Right.
We've not been able to sit down because, but we still need to have that meeting to better the whole situation. So that's how come I came back to, the scheme this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy. Man, on a positive note, can you talk about being the last artist that Carrie Hilson collaborated with on the music tip? That's incredible. That's awesome.
Thank you. I'm so grateful for that because before we did the song, she was like, I think she's having some own, challenges and issues on the music side. And then now we still get together joint. And the whole world was like, yo, Carrie Hilson, Stonebwoy, Afro beats, Afro dancer, let's go. And the song is amazing. Performing it in Puerto Rico last weekend was a shutdown. Like the whole crowd was singing it back. And it was so touching.
I saw that video.
Yeah, so touching, So big respect to Jamal and Carrie Hilson for making that happen. Shout outs to, how we met was so natural. A good friend of mine was boarding a flight, and then he chanced up to be speaking to a beautiful girl. And he didn't even realize I was Carrie Hilson.
She is beautiful.
And then it became like, oh yeah, Carrie, like, yeah, yo, my boy Stonebwoy, blah, blah, blah. And then we connected, right? I was sleeping when he called me. It's like, yo, I just met Carrie Hilson, da-da-da-da-da. Take your number. That's how he goes. Shout out to Dusty. And that's where we took it on. Went on and I came to the States and I, had to visit her, went to the studio. We recorded this song right from scratch. Shout out to Dre Harris for producing this song. All the hands on the song are blessed and are professionals. So we got to get a very beautiful, beautiful sound that we have right now. So big respect. It will go down in history as one of those,
For sure. And it's just such a vibe too. But also, that's the first song she made in 10 years.
Yes. Not really the first song she made in 10 years, but I think she's been recording because she played played some songs to me. But that's like one song that came out in 10 years.
Came out.
You know what I mean? That's
incredible.
Incredible. Beautiful song. Everybody watching right now, I want you to go check it out. It be you, I go nominate, yeah. My number one candidate. This a love, they carry heavy weight, yeah. Don't keep me waiting. Yes, you, I go nominate. My number one candidate. There's a love, they carry heavy weight. Don't keep me waiting. But
Wow, that was so beautiful. Man, wow. Okay, wait. Also, sorry, speaking of hit songs, DeVito on Activate.
whoop, 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 whoop.
Such a vibe. Oh my gosh.
Big tune.
How did that happen?
Yo, I can't, you see, I'm gonna go on and on and on and on and on.
No, we gotta talk about DeVito though. Come on.
And as I speak, Ghana, Nigeria is playing the World Cup qualifying match that's gonna have one go through to the next stage. So
Ghana won.
What? Ghana won?
Ghana won. Oh no! I'm
dead. I said it too. I said we will win. I don't talk. But I don't talk.
Oh, you don't.
Bro, nobody believed in the Black Stars because we didn't have a coach. We didn't have a nothing. I said we're going to win.
Oh my gosh.
We won. Hey, today I go dirty myself on the yacht. Pound swimming.
How are you gonna...
Okay.
That is hilarious.
Okay, let me take a deep breath.
Okay.
Yo, shout outs to Davido, shout outs to Whiskey, shout outs to Burna Boy, shout outs to all of my Nigerian brothers and sisters. You know how we do. Blessings. So we got a big song, Activate, Davido and I. David's character is actually like addictive. You feel me? Like he's an open book. You know?
Right.
I believe that he's honest and he's a people's people. You know, we've been knowing each other from the media space, I mean, as artists for a while. And the first time we actually met to speak was when we recorded the music.
Oh, wow.
Other times we would have met at an award show in South Africa. We take a picture, blah, blah, blah. You know, he comes into the space, he moves, I get there, you know, them type of vibes. But guess what? I was in the UK and he was going to Ghana. And I'll be honest, on his jet, there was somebody sent me the video and there was some vibes that beam, beam. You know, when you say beam, you know, it's Stonebwoy, you know, because that's like my slogan. Mm-hmm. So somebody sent it to me and few hours after, I get a message like, bro, I'm coming to Ghana. I'm like, oh, respect. So let's do studio, let's do some work. I was in the UK. I was supposed to go on Saturday, but I'm like, I'm not doing anything. It was a Thursday, so I still flew out on a Friday. I moved my ticket. I flew on a Friday, and I landed in Ghana. I was really not feeling well. You know, I had like some flu or something. But the fact that, you know, the brother has hit me up, and that shows you a lot of humility. Like, you know, not to disrespect any other artist, but I'm just being honest and focusing on him. That gives you the energy to want to move, you know, because there's a lot of ego in the music industry. So when he did that, I'd only landed. I packed the studio staff, called my engineer. We had some beats. I went to his apartment. We killed it. That was the second song on the beat. The original song we got on the beat when we were creating, we couldn't even sing that. But that's a hit song anyway. So we eventually ended up putting Activate on the song, on the beat.
Wow.
And that song is a blessing to me and a blessing to him. It's a collaboration that has Ghana, Nigeria come together in unity again. And you can imagine, you know, big tune.
For sure. How was that shooting the music video at Safari Valley, the biggest eco resort in Ghana?
Which is right. I think that could pass to be the biggest eco resort in West Africa. It could pass. We'll check it out.
Oh, wow.
You know,
I want to come.
You should. You should in December. You know, we'll make sure that happens because you're a great person.
Yes.
I'm like, we had to shoot the video within the same period because I think when we recorded the song, he was leaving in 3 days' time. So the next day we were jamming to the song and everything. And the following day, I think he had to extend his stay. Then we planned and shot the video immediately. So that video was not even really scripted. Shout outs to my top director, Skyface. You know, we just decided to go and shoot it. Like, it was a movie from when we left the hotel and the apartment to shoot, because it's like an hour and a half drive or two, basically. But it was nice. We went there. David gave time. Bro, I can only say thank you to him because, you know, that's just what there is to say. Big shout outs, big love. And look out for more collaborations coming anyway with me and the brothers, you know. Wiz, Burna Boy. Like,
Definitely.
it's just right that we continue to collaborate because the world loves to hear us, you know, and Jano.
For sure. I was gonna say I seen you celebrated Ghana Independence Day recently. How was that?
Imagine on the 5th of March, we're still in my birthday month. Imagine.
Oh, when's your birthday?
Yeah, 5th was my birthday, and it was actually a Saturday because I was born on a Saturday, and it was this. So this year, actually, I'm not messing about. This is my rebirth year. You get me? Sure. This is my rebirth because you can hardly get your birthday to be on the same day, you know. So I take it significantly. I take it very personal, you know,
For
so that I can
sure.
feed into that energy of rebirth and get to the next levels. So right there at the O2, 20,000 people capacity, Davido brought me on for us to perform that song. And the whole people wishing me happy
Wow.
birthday in physical. This is not like virtual.
Oh.
This is not like virtual wish. This is like, bro, it must be a great year for me because, to be honest, it's just begun, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for all the things that is happening already.
That's beautiful. Talk. Yeah. What do you have coming up? What else do you have any goals?
Say again?
Oh, do you have any goals or what do you have
Goals?
coming up? Yeah.
That's like what I said. Like this year, I'm just going harder like I've never gone before. Like that's how I do. Just do the best and the most that I can. Working hard. Like I've been in the studio here in Miami working with Super Dupes, Easy, you know, Uncle Ron, the whole squad, putting in some records because we're gonna release my first single somewhere next month, next 2 months. It's coming hard at them. To me, it's like a rebirth. It's like to the next level. We have to take the music to the next level, especially now that Africa, we play a role in continuing to propel the African sound right now as it is, that it has taken over the globe basically. And we just got an Afrobeat, you know, Billboard chart that tells you greater heights coming in, and it only demands for harder work. So this year is going to be amazing, more work, more singles, and the album is coming at you. You know, hopefully this year or probably early next year, however it goes, we're ready to give them some music, some creativity, some projects. You know, because we'll be doing some, you know, charitable projects too as well with the
Right.
Livingston Foundation and all these ones.
Yeah.
And we have all that in plan, you know. So you don't know.
How does it feel to create a Livingston Foundation that caters for disability and education? I just respect you for what you do for the community because a lot of artists have platforms and they don't do anything with it. So I just want to commend you for doing that.
Thank
I
you
think
very
that's
much.
awesome.
It's all about the
but
passion,
yeah.
you know. It's all about the passion and the reality. Like it has actually become a show off, you know, for people in the limelight to consider the business aspects of wanting to own charity foundations. And, you know, it's become like a smart move. And that is what has probably deterred a lot of people from doing them things because they would be probably seen as, you know, one of the people who just want to use the avenue to get good credit. But there's a difference from people who have felt the pain and are still going through the pain and wanting to actually help with their platforms that they have, which is me. So
Right.
the following, therefore, you know, like we have a project we've partnered with the Dufour Foundation, the former governor of the Bank of Ghana, you know, and yeah, he's a very honorable man and he has a foundation. We partnered to actually, you know, look at the education side of things by helping to build school blocks in some rural areas of Ghana, because in his time when he was in power, he actually introduced, you know, a program that was going to continue to build schools and that. So, you know, we're working on that one. We're about to kickstart it. This year has been a busy year, especially coming from the latter part of last year. So I personally, like I told you, I've always loved to be hands-on. I've always loved to be involved as well. So some things are depending on my time right now, but I know we're going to do those. You know, we're going to hit the ground running and do more of what we promised to do.
Definitely. Oh, that's beautiful, man. Thank you so much.
I mean, the foundation does does skill training as well. From time to time, we're seeking to taking it around Ghana. But you know, most of these are found by myself. So, you know, I don't wait on people to fund me or whatever. So I do from my heart, you know. So I want the world to look out, and I'm open to partnering with international bodies who would really want to see some impact made on the continent of Africa as well, because definitely Africa feeds the world in diverse ways, but it hardly gets back the support that it needs from the corporate, you know, to put back into the vulnerable and the less privileged and needy in Africa. So the Livingston Foundation is legit, headed by myself. That's my name. We don't seek to do no scam stuff. We seek to help people with other organizations and foundations together. So let's go.
Wow. Let's go. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Seriously.
I'm really grateful.
Thank you.
I'm really grateful, Cher, for having me. It's an honor to have me. I'm grateful for bringing Ghana onto the scene, representing for Beam Nation. You know the thing going on, Afro dance out to the world. It can't cool, it can't done. Shout outs to all of my Caribbean family and African family, no disrespect. I've always continued, and I will always make sure that our culture and music is experienced amongst one another. So this year, Beam concert is going to be huge again. Last year, we brought Beanie Man over. It went bananas. It was a crazy thing. This year, we're hoping to continue to grow that link. So stay on. Don't lag off. Stonebwoy is the name. Thank you, Cher, for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. And we got to, man, you got to come to LA so we could do
this
you're in person.
LA, right? I was supposed to. My days. Let's see what I can do. Let's see what I can do. Maybe I can just ship my return. Do LA
no
like
pressure.
2 days.
No pressure. Just when you can come to the US again, you know?
Yeah, I'm coming next month anyway. I'm going to be in Memphis for Bill Street Festival on the 1st of May. You know, performing alongside Lil Wayne and a host of other top, you know. Right. So we're going to be back in town. And I'm going to see you guys in LA.
Hell yeah. I can't wait. Thank you, love. I appreciate you.
God bless you, sir.
Mwah. All right. God bless you too.
Love.
Mwah.